So a peculiar architectural feature that appears at Site 9 at Wadi El Hudi are these little holes in the exterior walls. There are about 30 of them that still exist today, and we're guessing that many more had actually existed when it was originally built. But they're built purposely, and they're always built from the interior to the exterior. A lot of them have lintels that go over the tops of them, and bases. They're usually just a few inches high, but they purposely stretch through the duration of the wall, so sometimes up to a meter long. And they occur about every 10 feet or so. Earlier Egyptologists thought that these were arrow slits or loopholes. Excuse me. Earlier Egyptologists thought that these were arrow slits or loopholes so that when a giant army was coming, soldiers could actually stand on the insides and shoot arrows out through them. And that looks nice on paper and it's very romantic, but when you get here as an archaeologist, you start to look at these things and realize that that is impossible for so many reasons. First, even with the larger ones, as you see over here, they don't flare open. And if you know anything about defensive architecture in castles or even in the lower Nubian fortresses that are contemporary to this, their arrow slits actively flare open, giving an archer a wider range to be able to shoot from. These are purposely straight. They only give you a range of about 10 degrees, maybe 15 at absolute most. So they are not very practical. Plus, they're only about waist high, so any archer would have to actually be kneeling down to do this. In fact, I kind of think it would be easier for an archer to stand in one of these things and shoot over the walls than it is to actually shoot through them in many ways. So they're very impractical for actually defending this particular building. Plus, as I mentioned before, we are so remote from Aswan, you know, a good 20 miles, 35 kilometers away from where there are large civilizations. There wouldn't have been a massive army out here attacking this place. So what are they? I like to think of them as small windows. And I've looked at a lot of comparative material, and the only places that you get this type of structure is in purposely built Nubian settlements that exist in Lower Nubia at contemporary times. So it goes back to my theory again that the Egyptians were designing the actual layout of Site 9, but Nubians were in charge of their construction. And so when they looked at their Nubian workforces and said, here, build this blueprint that I've given you at about this scale, they were the ones that said, oh, well, we need windows, clearly, so that we can see out, so that we can talk to people, so that we have ventilation. And it demonstrates these two active labor forces coming together for the construction of Wadi El Hudi.